The man you're about to hear about was a front-end software engineer working in cybersecurity for a large IT firm. It was a good job, he could work remotely and the flexibility was decent. And now he's a business partner of mine. He mentors the HMO students and he also mentors the social housing students. And he's also built a portfolio of over a dozen properties that he doesn't even own. No mortgages, no deposit, without ever buying a single brick. His name is Dan Hart, and before any of that happened, he sat at a Samuel Leeds training event feeling more confused than the moment he walked in. This is his story before, during and after, and I think it's possibly one of the most important stories on this channel, because this will show you something that success stories doesn't always show. Dan is based in Gloucester, front-end software engineer, cybersecurity department of a large IT firm. On paper it looked like a great situation, a good job. Remote working, that gave him tons of flexibility. A lot of people would crave that, but underneath that flexibility was a very traditional 9-to-5 life, tied to meetings, tied to project deadlines, working for somebody else's business, somebody else's priorities. Sitting underneath all of that was the uncertainty of redundancy, and it come up 2 or 3 times during his time working there. That constant low-level threat that no matter how good you are at your job, the decision about whether you keep it is not yours. And eventually Dan had enough. So here's what I genuinely find really interesting about Dan compared to everybody else. He wasn't someone sitting on the sofa dreaming about doing something one day. He tried multiple things already. He got heavily into trading. He started a dog walking business. He worked as a personal trainer and a sports massage therapist. He looked into copywriting. He had a side business doing website design alongside his day job. Dan, by the sounds of it, always had that entrepreneurial spirit, right? So he definitely had the ambition side. It's just none of those things really gave him the vehicle out of employment that he was seeking. But then he found rent to rent. So it's not his first attempt at trying to build something. It was the first time he actually looked at something and thought this actually might work at scale. So what did he do? Like most people, he goes seeking for advice. And he found the big names in the property education space, paid for advanced training at a Samuel Leeds event. And Dan's story, it takes an honest turn because most success stories skip this bit entirely. He came away more confused than when he went in. Lots of information, lots of different strategies, no clear direction. He could already feel like sitting in the room that he was going to be lost in a crowd, one face amongst hundreds. Handed a library of content with no specific path through it, and he nearly signed up for more of their training. Because when you've spent money and you're not sure what else to do, sometimes the instinct is to spend more rather than admit the first decision might not have been the right one. That's where most people's story would end. Confused, having spent money, drifted back toward the safety of their job they were trying to leave. That's not what happened to Dan. So a friend that Dan had met through Facebook during his early property research was already inside the academy. Dan had just paid to attend a session, and she told him straight up, don't go further down this road. And she told him about somebody else, someone she'd come across on Facebook. Whew. Mwah. So Dan started following me for a week or 2, and after getting back from a Samuel Leeds training event, he booked a call with me. So this is what Dan said, and this is what stood out to him straight away. And I think this genuinely matters to a lot of people, because I hear this from a lot of people, that I was genuine, I'm down to earth, and more importantly, I was actively doing rent-to-rent deals myself. Dan already knew from the experience at a bigger academy that the person training him would not be actively doing rent-to-rent deals. With me, he could literally follow my journey in real time. So he knew he'd be working directly with someone who was actually living the process, not someone just teaching the theory from a stage. He wanted out of the full-time employment. He'd found the right model. What he hadn't found yet was the right guide, and that's what pushed him to join my program, Rise Up. And it was all to do with the relationship between the student and the mentor that pulled him in. Once Dan joined, and I'll never forget his onboarding process, he was ready for it. He joined, he followed the action course step by step, exactly as it's laid out. He once told me later that one of the things he valued immediately is that it was simple, practical, easy to follow. No confusion about what exactly comes next. So company set up, compliance sorted, website live, the credibility document built, then straight onto the phone calls. And what I love about Dan's journey is his very first call booked a viewing. Nothing come from that viewing at the time, but 6 months later, the same agent that he called, that's what got his first deal through. So guys, just think about that for a second, okay? Because it's one of the most important lessons in this entire industry, and almost nobody talks about it properly. This game is not about picking up the phone and getting an instant yes. It's about about follow-up. It's about building relationships with the agents and landlords. It's about staying in someone's mind long enough that when the right opportunity comes up, you're the first person they think of. Dan kept touching base with this estate agent every couple of weeks for 6 straight months. That's not being needy or desperate or pushy. It's just being present and consistent. So when the right opportunity come up, this was a 4-bed HMO in Gloucester. It was an old, tired student property, magnolia paint everywhere, dated, right? Properly dated. So Dan was the first call that the agent made. Dan hit an obstacle a lot of people hit, and it's worth talking about honestly because it's probably affecting some of you watching this right now. He restricted himself to his local area. Gloucester is not huge, and a lot of the HMO opportunities that existed are student focused rather than aimed at professionals. That's a different market entirely from what Dan was trying to build. So that restriction did slow him down. In his own words, looking back, it definitely held him up. I worked with him on that, gave him the reassurance to widen his search radius gradually. 1 hour, 2 hour, then 3 hours. I explained the distance isn't the barrier that people think, it's a systems problem, not a geography problem. You put the right processes in place so you're not constantly driving back and forth, and suddenly your country, the entire country, is your market instead of just your postcode. And also Dan, knowing that a chunk of my own properties were a fair distance from where I live, 3 hours away, that gave him the confidence to do the same. So his second deal ended up in Nottingham. That's 2.5 hours away from Gloucester. So once he stepped outside the limitation he placed on himself, the opportunities just opened up significantly. Dan describes himself as a naturally self-starter, someone who didn't need constant hand-holding, but the accountability calls, the WhatsApp support, the mindset guidance gave him something different, clarity, reassurance. I think it's really important when you have a mentor and you trust that mentor really knows what they're doing and they give you the thumbs up. That's what Dan got. Absolute reassurance. No second guessing on every decision. Dan's first deal, 4-bed HMO in Gloucester. It was a tired old property. That's normal. Don't expect every property to be immaculate, fully refurbished. You're gonna have to roll up your sleeves and do a bit of graft because you might be taking on a property that nobody else wants, and that's the benefit of a company let. That's why the landlord is considering you. So the rent to the landlord on Dan's first deal was $1,250 a month, and he was renting the rooms out at $550, $575, $575 and $600. So that's $550 to £600 a month profit on the very first deal. Imagine going to your boss and saying, can I have a £500 a month pay rise, please? After tax. Anyway, he secured this through the agent that he contacted on his first ever phone call. So the viewing that he booked at the time obviously led to nothing at the time. But the relationship he kept warm for 6 months, that's not luck, that's process. That's what done it. And this was back in 2023. And right now we're 2026. The portfolio that he's got is grown to 13 properties. And since then, 3 have been handed back as the business has refinanced it and refocused. But Dan JV'd with James, and now they're sitting at around 10 properties. And they've done that on purpose because a lot of people in this space measure success purely on how many properties they're managing or they're holding. Dan's measuring it on how systemized can it be and how well the business runs itself. I love Dan's journey. I absolutely love it. And I once said to him, I see a lot of my journey in you. The struggles that he faced at the start. Yeah, and just the relentless attitude to never giving up. I admire Dan for that. So Dan didn't just get his deals and then disappear into the sunset running his own portfolio quietly, which would have been a perfectly good outcome on its own. And that's what a lot of people do, right? They build the relationship with me, go through the process, get real results, show real consistency. But with Dan, he showed up for everybody else, including new students that were coming through. And he was voted by all of the other mentees, quite a majority voted Dan as the most helpful student amongst their peers, which eventually led me to bringing on board as a Rise Up HMO coach. Naturally, there was no one else in my mind. So a student becoming the coach inside the same program that trained him. So from there it developed further. Dan and I now co-deliver the social housing mentorship together. He went from being my student, following my action course step by step, to being someone I trust to guide other students through exactly the same journey that he went through himself. And if you've watched my video about James Wood, you'll know that Dan's story connects directly into his. Dan and James worked together. They pivoted into social housing as a JV, a joint venture, and between them structured 13 social housing deals and earned £7,500 in deal sourcing fees in a single month. And I believe 2 days ago they done exactly the same again, 5,500, I think, in double-ended fees. So that money was, yeah, in the bank 2 days ago. And what's really cool is Dan, James and I have now gone into mergers and acquisitions. So we've started a company together and we're looking to buy established, recession-proof UK businesses for long-term wealth. That business now exists because 3 people who met through rent to rent decided to keep building together rather than stopping once their individual portfolios were sorted. So Dan went from student to coach to business partner to co-founder of an entirely separate venture. That is not a typical mentee outcome, but it's also not an accident. It's what happens when someone takes a process seriously, gets real results, keeps showing up, keep showing up long after the easy part is done. Dan is now full-time in business, completely stepped away from the software development. He's reduced down to part-time a year or 2 ago as his property business was growing, and then left the corporate world entirely at the start of this year. Yeah, well done, Dan. Credit to you, bro. His goal now isn't to keep scaling for the sake of scaling. He's targeting 15 to 20 units and then deliberately stabilizing. So they're looking to build something that runs smoothly with minimal operational drag and strong cash flow. Instead of keep piling property on property on property just for the sake of doing it, you're just going to add more stress than freedom. So a couple of weeks ago, Dan went on a solo midweek trip to the Peak District. We went mountain biking, hiking. That's cool. That trip was only possible because the business runs without him needing to physically be present every single day. That's epic. That's the entire point of everything we teach, right? Just do what you want. And Dan describes that personal change as night and day in terms of confidence in speaking to people, handling estate agents, negotiating properties, putting himself forward. Everything's dramatically improved from where he started. And he even says rejection was something he'd actively avoid. Now after, he's easily made over 1,000 phone calls, dealt with tons of objections, hundreds of conversations that did not go his way before the ones that did. He simply just got thicker skin. No doesn't faze him. He's not affected by a no. What Dan has learned is he understands the firing line isn't actually a dangerous place. And this is in his own words. Your outcomes are largely in your own hands, and very true. You can't always control the exact result, but you can control the input. So keep putting the right energy and the right effort into it, and eventually the results are going to come back out. The only thing you don't know in advance is how much volume or time things will take. So yeah, credit to Dan, he's lived it. What I want to close with Dan's own advice, because I think it's important telling it from someone who's actively walked the path, from me who just keeps repeating it. If you're unsure about rent to rent or mentorship, do the research properly. Look into the people, speak to them, ask questions, speak to other students if you can find them. Find the right personality fit. You want someone a few steps ahead of you, not so far ahead it doesn't feel achievable, not so close it doesn't feel worth paying for. Someone grounded, relatable, someone who understands where you are starting from. And I love this statement from Dan as well. Even the best mentor in the world can only guide you. It's down to you to take action. A mentor is like handlebars on a bike. You still have to pedal. And for a brand new student, Dan's advice is simple. Take action. That's the only way you're going to learn. Follow the steps laid out in front of you. Do the work, get the feedback, you adjust, you keep going. And on whether it's actually possible if you commit, Dan's answer is very simple. If you fully commit, anything is possible. The question isn't whether can it happen, it's how long will it take? And if you're truly committed, then that should not matter anyway. So Dan, software engineer to a HMO coach to business partner, that's Dan's story, before, during, and after.